Hello, and welcome to another Blacklist walkthrough guide. Today, we're going to be talking about industry membership and how to utilize your industry membership in the best way to really make the most of it. So, as a reminder, what we're looking at right here is your industry dashboard. This is the first thing you would see after logging into your account. For industry members, there are a couple things that I think paying close attention to can really help to make sure that you're using the website in the most optimal way possible. And a lot of that is going to start right up here in your profile menu. So you'd open that up and then go down to your account settings. So from your account settings, this page is where you control all of the kind of crunchy information about your account. Obviously, you can update your contact information, where you're working, the position that you have there. You can update that all here. But I want to get into the preferences. So the preferences tab is where you control the type of material that you are likely to encounter across the site passively. You can always go into over here on the left-hand navigation panel, search projects and search writers. You can always manually search for specific content and projects and writers. But just to ensure that the projects that we are floating your way, either in email communication or in your dashboard itself, having really clear preferences helps just hone the material that we're showing you. So I'm going to scroll down on this page. As you can see, you have the option to get really granular here with the types of formats that we show you. So whether that's fiction, that'll be unpublished fiction manuscripts, screenplays, TV pilots, stage plays and musicals, and all of the genres connected to each of those formats. Additionally, there are some tags for content found in each of these formats. So if you know specifically in your slate, you've got a client who really, really wants to find, let's say, a screenplay that centers around billiards, you would be able to go through here and find a pool or billiards tag so that we would be naturally making sure that anything that included that content rises to the top of what we're showing you. Similar to eras, if you know that you're specifically looking for, let's say, like Y2K content, you'd be able to indicate that here, and then locations as well. If you know you've got somebody who's really, really wanting to establish in Italy, you can select that. As I said, you can just really get incredibly granular here. But any updates that you make here, just make sure that you click the save button so that all those changes are saved to your account. And then speaking of how we communicate with you, we'll open up the communications tab right here. This is where you can control all of the email subscriptions that you receive in your professional inbox. You can go through and deselect whatever makes sense for you, depending on how much communication you want to receive from us. Some industry members prefer to be pretty aggressive about the type of information that they're getting from us so that they're really on top of new material as it's coming through. And some industry members, especially if they're in a period where they're not actively really looking through material or looking through new writer profiles, they might deselect some of these just to kind of protect their inbox a bit. So you can always customize this and update it at any time so that it's working for you. And speaking of our industry members and the site and the ecosystem of the community of folks who use it, we have an invite tab. So if you've got a colleague in your office who is interested in joining as an industry member or working at a different company and they don't have access yet, you are more than welcome to send them a personal invitation. What this does is it basically lets them know that you have suggested them as an industry member, and it gives them a chance to just really quickly fill out an application, send it to us so that we can review it, and there will be a little flag on their application that one of our current industry members actually recommended them to join. All right, let's go back to our dashboard because I think the second bucket of interesting things to keep in mind are favorites and collections. So you can see right here, this manuscript has a heart right up in the corner. That's because I have favorited it. I think this is a really great way of keeping track of projects, certainly that you like, but also projects that you're just interested in or that you want to follow up on. It removes the need to kind of create a separate notes app or, have tons of post-it notes cluttering your desk. You can indicate all of this and keep track of it in the site itself. To access all of the material that you have favorited, you'll go right back up to your profile menu. You'll select the Favorites tab, and you'll open that. So from here, you can see you have the ability to create as many favorite collections as you like. I've got one for manuscripts that I want to read. I've got one for scripts I want to read. I've got another one for projects that I've read that I really, really like and that I think I either want to recommend to other colleagues, to a boss, or that I just think that we should be assessing further. And I've done a similar thing over in our writers tab. So these are a group of imaginary writers that I think that we should reach out to or follow up with in some way. And this just kind of helps me keep track. If at any point I reach out to a writer and I've either kind of moved our conversation into my inbox, and so I don't need to do any more work there, or it seems like we're not going to move forward, I can always just remove them. And there'll be a confirmation that comes up here. And then that way you don't have a ton of stuff cluttering up your favorites if it's no longer relevant. You can do the similar thing on the project side. I've got these two favorite projects here. And again, this just kind of helps you keep track of things organically on the site so that you're not having to remember titles elsewhere. Going back to our dashboard, finally, what I want to talk about is you and when good things happen for you and for people in your network. We want to hear about it. We want to celebrate with you. So right up here, I want to draw your attention to the Share Good News button. When you get a professional win, regardless of the size of that win, right? Even if it's just a, hey, I came across a really interesting writer, reached out, we had a cool conversation, nothing has come from it. That does not matter. We're just happy that you found someone interesting that you clicked with and you had a cool conversation. We'd love to hear about it. If you want to share anything like that, you can do so here. This does not go anywhere public. This is fully internal. It's just for us. And it just helps us know what's working for you. And it helps us celebrate you. We love hearing about this good news. It's a tough industry out there right now. And any little thing to celebrate is worth celebrating. The final thing that I want to draw your attention to is, again, right over here in the left-hand navigation panel. You can always peruse the top lists. So these are projects that will have an above average rating from evaluations across the site. We'll also have featured projects. These function a little bit like our staff picks. Every month, our team goes through and curates a group of projects that we think is worth celebrating and really putting a special spotlight on. We, of course, email about those, but all of our historically selected featured projects are here. You can scroll through and check all of those out. The recommendations tab is going to be personalized for you. And again, that connects over to the selections that you made in your preferences right here. And then, of course, you can always search projects. And as well, you can search through all of the writers that we have as members on the site. So that is a quick and dense, but hopefully helpful overview of how to really use your industry membership in a way that just helps ensure you're finding the material and the writers that are most relevant to you and what you're looking for.